Uh, Now we come to the most important part of our meeting today, our presentation by Ms. Gurnoor Kaur Behl. Ms. Behl is a social media solutionist, trainer, and speaker with a niche in personal branding and creating industry influencers. With a decade of experience in social media and more than 4 years as the founder and CEO of House of GKB, she has worked with premium organizations, individuals, and hosted a diverse set of niche events. These clients range from coaches, trainers, social entrepreneurs, celebrities, and select global organizations. Gurnoor has also delivered trainings and talks around the country and globally to over 4,000 people in this short period through her independent workshops as well as corporate trainings. She is also a guest faculty member at APJ Satya University's APJ Institute of Mass Communication and was the social media consultant for National Disaster Management Authority, Government of India. Gurnoor is a master LinkedIn expert. She has been trained by YouTube and has trained YouTubers at Google headquarters. And she is also an award-winning serial tweeter. Over to you, Gurnoor.
Thank you so much for having me. I got the invite a little later. I just request you to, yes, there I have the screen share rights. Thank you so much. This is really nice. I see a few familiar faces as well over here. I see Gautam Kimani over here, Sunil Puri over here, and of course, Abhinav Mathur, who I've known for quite a few years now. And it's really nice and vibrant right in the morning. So without further ado, I hope that you're all very, very prepared. With a little notebook or something, because I am going to, once I start, I'm definitely not going to stop. So please ensure that you have your notebook there with you, your pen there with you, and your attention right here. I also saw a very brief amount of what Rajesh was showcasing in his presentation. That's when I entered and I was like, wow, today is the day for branding. I think you all are going to get a lot of branding tips today. So Rajesh, that little bit that I saw, very nice, very impressive. Would love to get to know more of what you do. Thank you so much. I'm going to start my screen share now. So this session is going to be quite interactive, and which means that I'm going to be requesting you all to टाइप अलॉट बिकॉज सुबह सुबह है तो इसका मतलब है कि उठ जाते हैं, है ना. आप लोगों ने मुझे तो उठा दिया है आज, तो मैं भी आपको I'm going to keep you on your toes this morning. So personal branding versus company branding in 2022. So just like before I go ahead and I talk to you about like why I went into personal branding or etc. I just want to give you a little idea that I've been doing organizational branding. Uh, I've been doing normal branding, as we say, for a very long time, a good 5-6 years now, and that's where it all started for me. But why did I eventually end up getting into personal branding? That's a whole different game, and I will be sharing my insights on that. So personal branding versus company branding in 2022, the rules keep changing. Yes, I have been into social media for 11 years. January completed 11 years, and the rules keep changing for everybody. The only difference that I, as somebody who has over a decade of experience versus any newcomer in social, is that I can predict the trends because they've been happening over time. That's the only difference. And of course, I'm very quick with my captions because practice, that's all. So today, everything keeps changing really, really fast. And hence, I thought it was extremely important that we put a little insight on what it means, what are those evergreen things that will always remain, and what are the things that we need to be focusing on this year. So I want your commitment, and with this I want to say that I want everybody to type in 100% in the chat box. I want you to write 100% in the chat box if you are if your phone is next to you, because we'll do a little activity here also. Phone is next to you but it's on silent. If you have your notebook with you, and and I would genuinely request if you have your videos on, because if you can see my face and I'm smiling, I'd like to see your face and see your smiles as well, because I think I can be a little entertaining also. So if you have your notebook, if you have your phone but on silent, and if your video is on, I'd love that. It doesn't matter if you're in your pajamas. I mean, you're at a business meeting, so I don't think you'd be in that. But ऊपर से तो ठीक ही है ना हम सब. तो so like let's have your 100%. Like please write down 100% in the chat box. My chat box is open here for you guys. So 100%. Let me hear it. I've got Sunil, Pankaj, Anshul who's responded. Dinesh, amazing. Rajesh, Atul, amazing, amazing, amazing. Come on, type. Vikas, great, 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 great. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, brilliant. Let's go ahead. I think you're all getting a little hype now. I'm going to get to go ahead a little bit. So while you all know each other and I've heard your introductions, I want you to write, for my sake, just for my sake right now, just write the industry that you're in, the industry that you're in. I've heard your introductions. I want you to just write the industry that you're in the chat box. So introduce yourself like that. The only reason, or like your headline. So in case you're a chartered accountant, you just write CA. Yes, so the reason is that I will be able to make this a little more customized for you. So we've got some IT solutions provider, corporate gifting, communications, retail, showroom, automotive, great, timber, plywood, financial consultant, jewelry, yes, awesome, awesome. Okay, great. So packaging, brilliant, hospitality, yes, 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 amazing. Yes, all right. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you a little very quick introduction. And why am I giving this introduction again to you? And this is totally purposeful, honestly speaking. So of course, I'm the founder of House of GKB and creator of online personal brands. I help build personal brands and industry influences via social media. I changed this yesterday because it has this Jan been 11 years in social media, 4 years as an entrepreneur, 4+ years. This year in February will be 5 officially, but otherwise it's more than 5. Trained over 4,000 plus individuals globally in the last 5 or 4 years. Business award winning certified master networker. I have won a business award through my networking activities. Next is that I was the ex social media consultant for NDMA last year when last 2020, when COVID was happening. All the do's and don'ts that you were getting through the government, that was me sitting there on my desk and like typing and creating those posts as well, which means you can also. And then I'm the guest faculty for third year at APJ Institute of Mass Comm. And then I'm an active member of Leap, Connect and Grow Wiki, Social Media Council, MNP Network, and many more. And now today I'm here to present this at Manzil. Now, why have I shared this with you? I want you to understand me. Okay, I want you to understand the person that I am and मेरा दिमाग कैसे चलता है. पहले तो हम काफ़ी साल से अपना काम कर रहे हैं, 11 साल से सोशल मीडिया कर रहे हैं, 11 साल से ब्रांडिंग वगैरह कर रहे हैं, जिसका मतलब है कि हमको अपना काम तो थोड़ा बहुत तो आता ही होगा, है ना. इतने में तो आ ही जाता है इंसान को, नो मैटर हाउ गुड और बैड दे आर. ठीक है. सो दैट मीन्स आई नो माई वर्क. सेकेंड इज दैट आई एम एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. तो हमको धंधा भी आता है, ठीक है, धंधा भी आता है, मतलब दिमाग भी वैसे चलता है ना, पैसा कैसे बनाए. और तीसरी बात यह है कि मैंने नेटवर्किंग काफ़ी की है. तो अपना ना दिमाग, like you have to understand that whatever I am going to be sharing with you only has a mindset of these 3 things. Okay, one, my skill, which is of social media and personal branding. Two, how to make money out of it, because मेरा तो दिमाग वैसे चलता है, मुझे तो यही आता है. And three, how to increase your circle of influence while you're doing all of that through your network. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. Yeah, great. So everything that I'm going to be sharing with you, please understand कि ये मेरा दिमाग है, ये ऐसे ही चलता है. और अगर मैंने इसमें, if I've gained any laurels or I've gone up on a higher ladder or something, it's only because I think like this. So that is that. So these are a few things which cause I think like this. So these are few of my clients. There's two more sheets like this, but I'm just sharing one, who have been, well, people who have trended on LinkedIn. These people have been trained by me, they've been my clients, so they've come for my workshops, etc., etc. Now the idea of why I'm sharing this is, yeah, I mean, दिखाने के लिए कि हाँ मतलब थोड़ा impactful तो होता ही है, but what I'm also trying to tell you over here is that it only makes sense to even go viral or to trend on social media if it is in a category which is yours, a hashtag which is yours. There is no point in trending in a hashtag called hashtag love until and unless you're a marriage coach, honestly. So, there's no point. So you want to be looking to, yes, trend, go viral, have that kind of reach, but in a place, in a hashtag or in a topic or in a, keyword which should represent you, right? So over here, I will not say all, but I'll say majority of the people have trended in the right hashtag, right? Going to go ahead. Now, I'm going to leave the screen over here. I want you to I want you to unmute yourself and share with me what is common between all these logos. Come on, somebody. What is
Multinationals.
Multinationals, all right.
All big brands.
Very
These are
good, yes.
these are all matlab, big, really big brands known
Right,
across the.
yes. Anything else?
I would add credible brands. Credibility is more
Okay,
losing out.
credible brands, absolutely. Anyone else? Abhinav said well known. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right. Well, if you look at these brands, they're all names of people. There's Ford, there's Versace, there's Jindal, there's Rolls, and then there's Royce. There's McDonald's, there's Hewlett, and there's Packard. There's Procter, and there's Gamble. There's Mahindra. Vadilal is actually a first name. Bajaj, Giorgio Armani, Baskin and Robbins. These are Tata, of course. These are all names of people. You're absolutely right about them, but they're all names of people. We remember these big brands, we look at them like they might be just any other, brand name or anything like that, but they've been there for centuries. They've become a legacy even after these people have gone on. These are names of people, right? There are so many names. I could only fit these many logos here. So this is just something that I wanted to open my screen with and talk to you a little bit about personal branding versus company branding. Very simple. I've just made this a decent slide. Both, first, before I go on, I want you to know that both are important. Both are very, very important. It's not कि मैं इधर क्योंकि मैं personal branding करती हूँ तो मैंने इधर बस इधर शुरू होगी कि भाई ये है या जो भी है. Both are extremely important. Both have a different purpose. And both need to be given that kind of due respect as well. So let me just start by sharing with you when it comes to personal branding and it comes to company branding, what is the main difference that's there? The number one is that, well, personal branding is about branding of individuals and company branding is branding of companies and organizations. That's pretty common, right? That's pretty normal. Second is that personal brand में जब आप DP लगाते हो, तो it's the face of the person. Just for the sake of understanding. Company branding में जब आप कर रहे होते हो तो लोगो लगाते हो, वहाँ पे कोई इंसान नहीं होता. Number 3 is that your personal brand is more than what you do professionally. It's more of like your hobbies, it's who you are, your personality. Yes, what you do need to put more of out there is what gives you money. That is how you establish your personal brand in your niche. But it is much more than that. For example, the about a week or two ago, I am very fond of gin and I'm very fond of making cocktails. I finally realized, I think that might be my eventual calling. That's not true, but itna bhi nahi. But I really enjoy it, and to the extent that to the extent कि मेरे को ना ये jade forest जो mixers बनाते हैं उन्होंने मेरे को ना gift भी दिया था. Like they gave me a free pack. They sent it over to my place. So I felt very good about myself. I don't have many followers, just to be very clear. I only have like 1,000 something followers. I just felt very good about myself. Anyway, so I love making cocktails. I make small little videos once in a while on near the weekend when everybody wants to see those kind of videos. I'll put a little reel. By chance, I don't know what happened a few weeks back, and like my reel completely blew up. मैं दिवाली की reel डाली थी, उसमें पता नहीं क्या video डाल दिया था. I want to tell you like how many people saw that. I'm completely flabbergasted, and I will also tell you what else happened. 95.5K. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, that's really just generally crazy. तो मैं बड़ी खुश हुई. हाँ, बड़ी खुश हुई. मैंने बोला वाह यार ये शराब चलती है, फिर मतलब मैं अपना थोड़ा पॉज पे डाल देती हूँ. वैसे भी न्यू ईयर्स चल रहा है, कोई बात नहीं, अपना पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग बाद में कर लेंगे. हाँ, अपना पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग सोशल मीडिया का कंटेंट बाद में कर लेंगे. अब वैसे भी सब पार्टी मोड में है. तो मैंने ना अगले 2 दिन के बाद ना एक और डाली. क्रिसमस के लिए मैंने एक और डाली. उसके आए व्यूज 1175. This is the current view. I was like, what the hell have I done wrong? What is happening? What is right? What is wrong? Of course, I have been contemplating since then and I've figured out one or two odd things. But the point is that my personal brand allows me to be all these people. And because I've been doing this, I've actually gotten people to come to me because, Acha, you make drinks, come, let's have a cocktail. Even I make very nice cocktail. By the way, what do you do? Oh, you do this is what you do. अच्छा यार ये तो मुझे ज़रूरत थी, आजा. ऐसे मेरे को बिजनेस भी मिल जाता है. तो you have to understand your personal brand is basically who you are as a person, so people can connect with you in different ways. So this is one thing I wanted to show you, share with you. So it encompasses everything about your being. But when it comes to a company brand, you only can speak about your product or service related things. You can talk about testimonials which are directly related to your service or product. You can well have to do shoots, etc., etc. If you have products, if you have to make content only around your products and service. So that is because you have that company and you need to be like that. The next thing is that when it comes down to personal branding, because everyone assumes that social media is about being fake, assumes about the fact that you have to be a certain way. And when they're looking for someone inspirational, when they're looking for someone to connect with, if you're like perfect, they're not. And even if you are actually like their version of perfect, they're not going to be able to connect with you because they're going to be like, oh, we don't know if this person's real because it's social, right? So what works in our advantage over here is that personal branding comes down to being raw, real, and relatable. That means shitty videos in shitty videos in the sense that if you're not getting like high-end production videos and stuff, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. If you're just going to go and you're just going to take a video like this, or you're going to put it on a little tripod of yours, you it's going to work. It's going to work much better than you going and spending a lot of money on getting one video made. And trust me, I'm somebody who used to offer the service as well. So I'm saying that out of that, like I know what works. To be clear, I learned all these things गिर के, because 10-11 साल पहले तो किसी को कोई था नहीं ना सिखाने के लिए. So I've been working since 19, and I've learned all of these things hands on, गिर के, right? Fail fast, they say. But at the same time, what happens with company branding is that you need to meet content which is of supreme quality. And you should never compromise on the kind of quality content that is going to be going out there from your company side. And that's when you need somebody who, like, excuse me. Yeah, that's when you need somebody like, who's into branding, etc., who manages brand communication for organizations. And that's where you need to go to them and actually indulge in their services in that manner, right? Because and of course the mindset of developing a brand for a company is very different than it is for a person. right? So you need your content to be of supreme quality, because what you put out there will determine whether a person will want to be associated with your company or not, right? The next is, it's okay to make mistakes in a personal brand. We're only human. It's fine. It really is. I'll share with you some examples ahead. But when it comes down to your company, you can't make a spelling mistake, you can't make grammatical errors, you can't, you just can't make mistakes over there. It reflects on you. And if somebody who's your audience is tiny bit more intelligent than you're doomed. So you have to ensure that the person who's managing your social media for your organization, I mean, even when it comes down to, when it comes down to your personal brand for that matter, don't make grammatical errors. That's just not nice. But my point being that it's okay to make mistakes if it's a person. And people will tell you, like, if I type really long captions and stuff and I've missed a word or I've spelt it wrong or something, people do say that, hey, listen, you spelled this wrong, or like you missed something, and that's okay. But they're never going to say that to my company page. They're not never going to say that to my company page. They're just going to assume that the person who's managing my company is just, well, doesn't matter, because the company sucks then, because they can't even get a sensible person to manage. So I'm being absolutely real about this, right? So it's okay to make mistakes when it comes down to a personal brand, because you've already started relating to them, and but when it comes to a company brand, a face, or a logo for that matter, you can't afford. There's no margin of error there. It's your reputation on the line, hardcore. The next is that you can integrate your company brand to, can integrate your company brand account for that matter, that you can leverage your personal brand to accelerate your company brand. But when it comes down to your company brand, you cannot really integrate your personal brand to accelerate. Uh, you cannot. So you cannot integrate your personal brand to accelerate it for that matter, which makes this situation. And I will explain this in the next slide. Do not worry. Don't get too confused. The next is the fact that, which allows you, all of this allows your personal brand to be, well, abundant in a way. It's limitless. You can do whatever you want with it. There are, I mean, you can put up anything that you want to, your journey, you document your journey, anything. But when it comes down to company branding, it does get a little limited, because you do have some few rules, etc., that you need to keep in mind. You do need to keep in mind some things when it comes to your personal brand also, right? We'll talk about that a little later. But it does make your scenario a little more open. So when you're talking about integration, right? Integration of how you can use your personal brand to accelerate your company brand, but the vice versa won't happen. For example, this post that was there about a few years back, actually, because we were all sitting in offices, was a Women's Day post that my company put up. Uh, you know, being a woman is a beautiful feeling, blah 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 blah, right? So what did I do about it? मैंने अपने LinkedIn के पर्सनल अकाउंट से उसको बस शेयर किया, और ऊपर सिर्फ इतना ही लिखा, वेरी हैप्पी वुमेन्स डे टू ऑल द वुमेन हु आर गिविंग देयर 100%, इतना ही, एक दो लाइन लिखा. पहले LinkedIn used to show trending. Now it shows, congratulations, your post is in the top 1% engagement, right? So what I'm trying to say is that I could share my company's stuff, but this wouldn't have been possible the other way around, right? It wouldn't make any sense, like sharing an employee, because I'm also an employee of my company, right? An employee's post. So the right way to do it, in fact, to promote your own company, is through your own account, right? So this is what I meant by the integration is possible in personal branding, but not so much in company branding. Does it make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it does make sense to you all. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. So henceforth, your online personal brand is the fastest way to gain authority, build influence, and get opportunities. And I believe, because I've worked in this field for a really long time, it's also way more pocket friendly than building a company brand. I'll explain this a little more in the next slide. But before that, but why does your online personal brand become the fastest way to gain authority, build influence, and get opportunities? Simply human psychology, because people buy people first and then their products and service. Somebody recommended me here, right? Somebody said गुरनूर को एक बारी बुला लो. काफी, इनफैक्ट काफी महीनों से ये बात चल रही है. Moita is not here. I think she only got me, but that's because she's seen my work. She's seen my work. She's worked with me. She likes me. She only did that because she likes me. You know, all of that started because she thought I was a nice person. I guess, I don't know what she thought of me, but my point is that people buy people first and then their products and service. So hence, personal branding becomes the norm, I'd say, obviously, because human beings are like that. Now, I've taken this, I've taken this dictionary definition, Wikipedia definition out, because I thought that there was nothing better to describe what personal branding actually is. Personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, elevating their credibility, differentiating them, differentiating them from the competition, and ultimately advancing their career, increasing their circle of influence, and having a larger impact. Okay, I think a lot of these keywords are lying over here. I don't think there's anything more clear than this. Now, when I was saying that there are rules when it comes down to personal branding, of course there are rules. You can't just put everything out there, and you shouldn't. If you're not somebody who wants to not put out their family photographs, don't do it. It's about having a conscious and intentional effort, right? It's a conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception. You can make people believe whatever you want them to believe in a proper manner. Now, if I'm putting pictures or I'm making videos which are trending regarding alcohol, I'm not, sitting there looking like a drunkard. They're basically like how to make a cocktail kind of videos. They're helpful videos in a way. It's basically a healthy way of, talking about your interests. So basically, one thing you probably shouldn't be doing is putting drunk photographs, which I'm sure none of you do that. Second is that, of course, it's a very good idea not to be giving your political and religious views. Some people get really touchy about it. So in my experience, I'd say that these three things you should just not do. And basically allow people to perceive you in a way that is healthy, for that matter. So, and you are the one who can actually ensure that this happens. I will be, of course, talking about how to build your personal brand as we go ahead, especially when it comes down to 2022. Now, this slide, I basically want you guys to know that what a personal brand can do for you, and why choose this eventually is, oh God, I've spelled podcaster wrong. Jesus. Okay, please excuse me on that. So when it comes down to your personal brand, the first thing is that you can encompass all of these things under your personal brand. Maybe it's your main venture, maybe it's something that you're also going to start doing, or it's like that you have multiple ventures, right? Then of course there are things like, your hobbies that you can share, your interests that you can share. Or if you're well, in this case I've written podcaster, but podcaster, speaker, author, any of these things, you can put that all in your personal brand. The idea is, of course, कि जिससे आपको धंधा मिलता है उस पे ज़्यादा एफर्ट डालो, उसको ज़्यादा, उसके बारे में ज़्यादा आप अपनी कंटेंट बनाओ, उसके बारे में लिखो. That's where your bread and butter is getting earned from. Now, when I'm usually speaking to people, now as I go on, this is a very fun slide actually. And I want you to understand this. And I want you to pay attention to this one because I'm going to be making you guys do something after this. So, okay, as I go on each sentence, I'm going to give you a little instruction. And if this is you, you need to follow that instruction, okay? So some of the common pain points that I receive when it comes to people trying to build their personal brand. The first one is don't know how to be perceived as the go-to person in their niche. If this is you, just type me in the chat box. If you don't know how to be perceived as the go-to person in your niche, then type me in the chat box. And it's okay. These are very common. So you're not alone, right? Okay, awesome. Great, Sunil. Thank you so much. Gautam, thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm really happy for your honesty. Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Shaili. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead. The next one is not getting enough visibility online. So if this is you, just type in yes, yes, yes. If you, one of the pain points about creating a personal brand online is that you're not getting enough visibility, say yes in the chat box. Yes. All right, Prerna, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. All right, Abhinav. Thank you. Thank you, Anuj. Awesome. Awesome. Great, great, great. Okay. Now the next one is my offline influence is massive, but my online influence sucks. How to showcase credibility? Very common point and pain point that I get. If this is you, just type 100%. 100. Just type 100. Yeah, that's fine. If this is you, that your offline influence is amazing, but your online influence sucks. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sunil. All right, Abhinav. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So the next one is, of course, what should I even post online? If this is you, go ahead back to me. If you don't know what to post online, just type in me. Me. All right. Thanks, Gautam. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Dinesh. Thank you. Thank you, Sunil. All right. Okay. All right. So next is so much is happening on social media. It's absolutely overwhelming. Where to start from, how to start from. Just if this is you, just write so me. So me. Just write, ensure you add the so to it. If you don't know where to start from, how to start from, because social media is extremely overwhelming, just write so me. Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you. दिनेश शो मी नहीं बट सो मी है बट ठीक है हम भी शो कर देंगे कैसे करना है ठीक है द नेक्स्ट इज इफ यू बिलीव that your industry is not meant for social media or that my line of work is not meant for social media, say just go ahead and put any emoji that is there. Any emoji, put an emoji that is there. If you feel that you're in that my industry is not meant for social media or my line of work is not meant for social media, if you feel that way, put any emoji that's there. Nobody's feeling it. Oh, Vikas. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vikas. Thank you so much for your honesty. All right. All right. The next is, of course, posts are not getting enough engagement. 100, just write 100. If you think that you're not getting enough engagement, any likes, comments, and share, just write 100. 100. Wow. Wow. Oh, who's smiling? I can see a few people smiling. Yeah, I can see a lot of people smiling. Clearly, I think I should also write 100. I don't think I'm getting enough.
There's a
I was,
parallel
I
joke.
mean,
Gurnoor, there's a parallel joke going on. That's why you see people smiling.
okay, then. I hope that like I said, the attention is right here. So there's a parallel show going on that
Absolutely.
might be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Next is, of course, not getting opportunities from social media presence. Let's just talk about this. Okay, if you think, if this is you, just say, yup, 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 Yup. Not getting opportunities. Yup. Go for it. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Feels like it takes a lot of time to build a personal brand online. If that's you, just say time, time, time. Feels like it takes a lot of time to build a personal brand online. Time, all right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, all right. If the next one is you type in Loki, Lowkey, I'm a low key person. Having a social media presence is not my thing. Loki, just write Loki. Mhm. All right, Loki. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. 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 The next is that your pain point is don't have enough followers, want more followers. Over here I want you to write, if this is you, just type in follow me, follow me. I will type in follow me. I also try to also type in follow me. I of course my level of everything is a little higher, but yes, good. Please follow Sunil, please follow Suneet and Anuj. Yes, if you feel that you do not have enough followers, just type in, and you want more followers, absolutely, and I'll share with you how. Right? Just type in follow me. That's it. That's it. Okay. All right. Oh, good. Yeah, अतुल ने तो मतलब handle भी दे दिया यहाँ पे. ठीक है, brilliant. Next and the last one is personal branding is not important for business. It's not a priority. If this is you, and you can be completely blatantly honest with me, just write me in capital over here this time. Me. If you think personal branding is not important for business, then let's break that. But write me. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely. I love it. I love this confidence. Amazing. Thank you so much for being so engaged in these pain points. Let's go ahead. I hope you guys got your energy back and your attention was here itself only. Now, because I have been working with a lot of people over the years, these are some of the different, and it comes from the fact that personal branding is not important for business, not a priority. Is that these are some of the people that I've worked with, and I'll share with you the industries that they're from. And they've either encountered me over, they've worked with me one on one, or I've trained them, or different ways. So there's Vani who works in wellness, corporate wellness. There's financial planners. Financial planners and lawyers end up being people who I end up working with a lot, because financial planners, lawyers, and doctors cannot sell. So hence, it's extremely important for them to have a pull effect, and personal branding, especially the way I do it, is organic and it has a pull effect irrespective of your industry. So financial planners, radio jockeys, you know, corporate heads for that matter, people into energy work, people in travel, people in stocks, coaches, trainers, people who are cryptocurrency, strategists, business coaches, interior designers, supermodels, um, celebrities I've worked with. So yes, of course, all of these different varied people. I've worked with manufacturers, automotive manufacturers, in fact, and all of these different kind of people have seeked and understood that one thing, that when everything is so common, when your product can be replicated, it can be sold at a cheaper price, when there is a more optimized, when there is somebody who's got the resources, who's got the, or is even with, charging lesser than you, how can you ensure that that person is going to choose you irrespective? The only differentiating factor for a person who's sitting on the other side looking in for different kind of coaches or product, people or anybody, is who you are as a person. That's the only differentiating factor. So what is it that pulls Even think about it. What pulls you to choose a certain kind of product or service, or somebody's service for that matter? It's who they are. So the differentiating factor ends up becoming you. And this was actually something that this last year, a manufacturing person who was working with, he said to me, you know what, Gurnoor, um, people are trying to copy me, and there's so much competition, and the only thing that's going to work eventually is people marketing. And he said it like that. I said, that's very true, but it's been going on for a while. But it's even prevalent, much prevalent, even in the non-glamorous industries, I'd say. Right? So going ahead, we're going to do a little activity, all right? And don't be afraid. You're in safe hands. Does everybody have their phone? If you have your phone and you have LinkedIn as an app on your phone, right? If you have LinkedIn as an app on your phone, um, yeah, I'm going to ask you all to do a little activity, and I want you to do it. I want you to do it because I want you to know where you're standing right now in your network. And I'm going to make you do a very safe activity because LinkedIn is like that. So if you have LinkedIn, please go on to LinkedIn. And I want you to now, because I want you to look back at this. मैंने अपनी इंडस्ट्री के 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 पेन पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं. ठीक है. लिंक्डइन पे एक पोल का ऑप्शन आता है. Okay. I want you, and you will get 4 options over there. I want you to write in each, I want you to write a question which is basically related to your industry or your work, wherein the answers that people have to pick are one of your pain points. So आप 4 pain point दोगे, आप question पूछोगे, what is your greatest challenge regarding so and so, which is your industry. So like for when it comes to what is your greatest challenge regarding accounting, that's something that CN Nikhil Gupta can probably write, and he can give four different options that are there. So what I'm trying to say is, what is your greatest challenge regarding whatever is your industry, and give 4 of these options. Those 4 options are pain points of your industry. Is that all good? You can ask me questions right now. All good? If it's good, just type in good so I know that it's good. Good. Okay, Rajesh. Okay, thank you, Atul. So now we're going to go on to LinkedIn. You're going to go on to the app. I'll help you through it. You go on to your app. You're going to go to the middle where it says post. In fact, let me show you on a bigger screen. Right. So you're going to go over here. You're going to click on post. At the bottom, you'll see create a poll. You're going to create a poll over here. You're going to add your question and you're going to give in options. Now, यहाँ पे 2 options दे रहे हैं. आप 2 और add कर सकते हो. ठीक है? After you have done this poll, it will ask you for a caption. You may write a sentence or so. Please don't try to add too many hashtags, and don't add hashtags. It's really overrated sometimes. Okay, so just do this poll. It's 9:55. I'm going to give you till 10:03. Okay, and this is alarm. The alarm matlab mera ek baar alarm baj jayega. You can ask me any question during that time. ठीक है? I hope you're all doing it. Otherwise, तुम्हें बस ऐसे 7 मिनट की break मिल रही है. See, what's going to happen when you ask people their pain point is you will be surprised to realize that maybe you don't know so much about your audience. Maybe the answer that you thought was going to be the common one isn't.
First is add question. What is to be written there is the question.
Yes. Yeah. So what you should, the easiest question regarding this is, what is your greatest challenge? Sunil, what do you do?
I'm into packaging.
Yeah. What is your greatest challenge when it comes to uh, finding the right, so to packaging. So yeah, finding the right either packaging company, or you can go in for what is the greatest challenge you feel when it comes to packaging itself, just right packaging.
Okay.
So then you write down the options and people will kind of choose when it comes to packaging, whether it's quality. Don't say packaging company, just say packaging. Yeah.
Gurnoor, for my kind of business where
Yes.
hospitality, COVID is coming and going, and virtually whatever you do is destroying.
Destroying matlab?
See, it's like I had bookings from 13th till next of 13th. Okay, virtually
Hmm.
1 month. Almost every booking is either getting postponed or cancelled.
Right.
So, what is the kind of thing that you need to?
Do at this point, this is exactly what you should be doing. You must utilize this aspect, this time, so that when the thing opens up and you, by that time, you've already become so active on your online presence that when everything does build up, you've already generated a recall value among your target audience. When you generated that kind of recall value, and when they have the pocket and the opportunity, they're not going to think twice at all. They're going to prioritize you, on the contrary.
No, the problem with all the people in the corporates are whenever there is a crisis, they go into a shell, and that's a time to brand,
Absolutely.
and they
That's
miss
the
it
best time to brand. I even
because
say
your
कि जो
costs are low.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they don't
Absolutely. And
understand
the,
that.
yeah. And the festive season is also best time to brand, I would say.
Yep.
सब ऑनलाइन होते हैं, सब कुछ ना कुछ कर रहे होते हैं. जब पैसे देने का टाइम होता है, you've already established your brand, by
True.
that time, right?
Yep.
So Jan is always a beautiful time for me, I'd say. So, so by that, yeah. So I would say, Gautam, you must use this opportunity to get more active, so that they remember that they need to get down to getting your, services.
Okay.
4 minutes all. 2 minutes, everyone. If you're done, just type in done in the chat box. Awesome, Sunil. 1 more minute, everyone. Thirty seconds. All right. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead. And I hope that whoever is, okay, if somebody is unmuted, please mute yourself. Okay. Whoever this is, please unmute. Sorry, please mute yourself. Thank you so much. All right. So I hope that if you haven't finished it, do finish it by the end of today. It's a weekend. People are more interested in engaging anyway. So I'm going to go ahead now and do let me know how your poll went as well. Okay. This is actually the first poll that I always give people to do, or one of the first few activities that I always ask people to do when even in longer duration programs or courses that I have, is to basically understand कि उनकी दिक्कतें क्या हैं. एक बार आपको उनकी दिक्कत समझ आ गई, आप उसी के अराउंड कंटेंट भी तो बना सकते हो ना. So once you understand what the real pain point is, you can totally change the game. Now, what is the criteria for a good personal brand, right? Number one is, of course, that it needs to look good and it needs to be visually attractive. Okay, क्योंकि जो दिखता है वो बिकता तो है, पर जैसे दिखते हो वैसे भी आप बिकोगे. मतलब अच्छे नहीं दिखते तो फिर मतलब नहीं चलता ऐसी जिंदगी में. So, so basically understand a lot of personal branding, a lot of branding for that matter, is all about human psychology. It's about understanding how people function and kind of reaching to that core value within. So the first is, and always look at it like, how do you, when you looked at your husband or wife for the first time, और your first boyfriend or girlfriend, और आपने पहली बारी उन पे जब नजर मारी थी तो नजर इसलिए अटकी थी ना क्योंकि वो अच्छे decent presentable दिखते थे. So like how a person looks or how a profile looks, that's always going to be the first thing that hooks you. So ensure that your personal brand looks good and is visually attractive. The second thing is it's more important to focus on having the right audience rather than more audience. There's no point running behind followers. You don't need followers, you need customers. Okay, so hence it's okay to understand the fact that that you don't have like a billion followers. It's fine, but at the same time you need to also understand that you might want to become an aspirational brand. which also means like if you want to become a Rolls Royce for that matter, you have to also understand that जितने bazillion followers Rolls Royce को follow करते हैं, वो Rolls Royce खरीद नहीं पाते हैं. तो अगर आपको followers चाहिए तो या तो आप followers के पीछे भागो या आप customers के पीछे भागो. यही हमेशा याद रखना branding के बारे में. ठीक है? So it's more important to have the right audience rather than more audience. The next thing, which is a criteria for a good personal brand, is that the engagement rate needs to be up, which means that if you have about 10 followers and 5 people are liking, commenting, and sharing on your content, it totally means that you have 50% engagement rate, which is what even the algorithms are looking for. They're looking at engagement rate. They're not looking at the number of followers that you have at all. They're looking at how many of those followers are actually seeing your content and they are interested in what you do. Are you creating value for the platform? Are you creating value for its audience, right? The kind of content that works basically is entertainment and education. And of course, like I said, be real, raw, and relatable. And I've shared with you some very, very interesting tweets of mine over the years. So, you know, मैं बहुत excited हो गई थी. तो मैंने ये क्लास ऑफ 83 देखी थी बॉबी देओल की. तो मैंने ना बड़े मजे में एक फोटो डाली और फिर लिखा ग्रेक कम बैक of the Deol. I did not even write great. I screwed up that. Right? Greek comeback, totally worth my Saturday night. Just to let you know, I don't like to openly say it much, but I'm quite a Bobby Deol fan. Okay, after Soldier movie. So when Bobby Deol liked my tweet, I think I completely died. One, because it was Bobby Deol, and two, because I had that one chance, and this is the impression I made. So this is on that's on the lighter side. He did like my tweet. He did, you know, and even Gaurav Verma, who's the director, did, and it got a lot of traction. Another thing which kind of, you know, so I will share with you why this all sharing all of this matters, because it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes here, right? It still works. Now, this gentleman over here, this young boy that you see, he's quite famous. He's probably, if not the greatest YouTubers in India, but the second greatest. And I actually have trained him at the YouTube Academy at Google headquarters back in the day. So when he was 6 years of a creator, or actually when I was working with him on one of these events that in my last job ever, he'd come for an event and I was the only girl. And because I was the only girl, I became a meme. I'm one of those people who did become a meme at a moment. And because it was scary, which is his name is Ajay, it actually blew up quite a bit, you know. So I used that in a light manner, and you can see the amount of retweets and likes and everything. जब मैंने ये screenshot लिया था तो इतने ही थे, अब बहुत ज़्यादा और भी हो गए. It did get me a lot of traction for that matter. So it's okay to kind of let loose, you know, when it comes to your own personal brand. And the next one that I'm actually very proud of this one is that proud kya matlab, there's this it's just something that I'm very happy about, is that when I'd gone for this Youth Ki Awaaz event and I was you know, honestly just putting stuff out there. Now this is political, you know, like this comes down to being political. Nobody will ever know my political ideology at all. Even by the way, in circles, you'll never get to know my political ideology. It's not a conversation I have. All I did in these tweets was that I reported. When it comes down to anything which is sensitive, just report. Just do not showcase your emotions towards anything, right? Be aspiring, inspirational, be motivating, have your words be a little strong and positive and all of that. That's what you need to be putting out there. That's what's going to get people connected to you. Nobody wants to be with somebody who has conflict within them, right? So I just reported, I just written just basic stuff, nothing else. And eventually what happened was that through my tweets of that day, Shashi Tharoor only retweeted 3 tweets of that entire event. And one was the official Twitter live feed that was there for a session. And the second one and second and third one were my tweets. And I completely went ballistic on this. I was very young at that point, in my journey. I went completely ballistic. It was an amazing feeling. As you can see, the amount of retweets and likes. Retweets is the bigger thing, and likes that came in, that was insane. It definitely shifted my own brand game, for that matter, but it was just simple reporting, no emotion involved. Hence it catered to people with all sorts of ideologies, right? So it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to take things lightly, it's okay to be entertaining in a way, and it's okay to address strong matters and sensitive matters diplomatically. So always keep these kind of things in mind, and try to always have a photograph or something visually, that's grabbing people's attention. Now I believe that over the last few years that I've figured out that when it comes down to online personal branding, there are three pillars majorly. Pillars का क्या मतलब है कि eventually आपको अपना personal brand इन तीन वजहों से ही बनाना पड़ेगा. अगर आप, it all comes down to one of these three things. Now what will eventually happen is, you में से कि मुझे तो तीनों चाहिए. अब बात इधर आएगी कि प्रायोरिटी में क्या है. That's an individual thing according to your own goals. It comes down to three things. One is credibility. I think credibility we all understand. Building your I'll explain the difference between credibility and thought leadership. Credibility, visibility, I think, is the most common to understand, of course, to get that kind of reach, get more people to check you out, for that matter. And then there's thought leadership. So now over here, when it comes down to thought leadership, is basically ensuring that people know what you do, people know what your mindset is, your differentiating factor is, etc., etc. So they know your thought process and your value system over here. They know what kind of niche things that you do. That's when thought leadership comes into place. Credibility is basically proving that this stuff works. Proving that this stuff works का मतलब आ जाता है कि आपके टेस्टिमोनियल्स आ गए. ठीक है, अगर आप फोटोज डाल रहे हो कि आपने यहाँ पे टॉक किया, वहां पे टॉक किया, ये किया, वो किया, वो किया, इससे ये पता चल रहा है कि आप ये जो बोल रहे हो अपने थॉट लीडरशिप में, उसके लिए आपको लोग बुला रहे हैं opportunities में. That's your credibility, that's building your credibility, that's proof that's there. And as you put that kind of stuff out there, slowly and slowly, you'll gain visibility as well. So eventually it all comes, and this is not always the order. This is not always in order I've just shared with you, right? For all you know, like, you may be thinking that, I have been established, I want to reach out to more people. That's what I want to do. I want to be more engaging. I want to reach out to more people, and side by side, I want to ensure that more people get to know what kind of talk I'm having. So then your game turns out to be, I need visibility. Visibility comes first to me. That's on you. This is something that's completely on you. You need to figure out, according to your business goals, what aspect is important more, which is of more priority when it comes down to achieving your business goals. Which of these are important to your personal brand? Which of this does it come down to? And if you have any questions, of course, I'll take it up later. So according to your business goals, you need to line up your personal branding goals and figure out which of these pillars are for you. Now, once you figured this out, that's fine. Now you need to figure another thing out, which is, I think, much easier for you, but I'll also like break this down. One is choosing your social media platform for your personal brand. You're not supposed to be everywhere. You're not supposed to be on all 5, 10, 20,000 platforms. No, you're supposed to choose one, dominate it, then move to the next one. Right? At least start from that. That's level minus. That's once you start building, then you come to like level 0. But when you need to first dominate one platform and then move in. You're also human beings. You can't do everything. You can't do all of this and then run your business also and make money also and have a good family life also. ऐसे नहीं हो पाता है. हम लोग इतने सारे अकाउंट्स कैसे मैनेज करते हैं, है ना? तो you have to understand that the first step is to dominate one platform, and then, or have like 2, 3 of them, and understand the pecking order, understand the priority that's there, right? So how do you choose your social media platform? First is your industry or niche. Okay. Now, if you are into, say, interior designing, it would be obvious that um, you should be choosing a visually attractive platform, something like Instagram. If you are into coaching, you should be choosing something which is more LinkedIn. As in, choose to sab kuch karna chahiye, but which is your number one? If your clientele, for that matter, that comes down to second one. So understanding your own industry is very important, and where do people seek people like you is also very important. Now, this also comes down to the second aspect, which is your target audience. आपकी ऑडियंस कहाँ बैठी हुई है? आपको चलाना है फेसबुक क्योंकि आपको फेसबुक मालूम है, पर फेसबुक पे कोई बैठा नहीं हुआ है, तो कैसे होगा? आप क्यों ऐसे करोगे अपने साथ? Why you want to waste your time, right? So understand that where is your audience sitting, where are they seeking your services, where are they spending most of their time कि आप गलती से उनकी फीड में आ जाओ. Now understand these things, understand your audience. And the third thing is very important, guys. You have to understand this aspect. Nobody talks about this third thing. It is your communication skills. Are you good at writing? Are you good at making videos? What are you good at? Can you write long content, or can you write only short content? Are you good at audio? You have to understand your communication skills also. Now, for example, if you're good at speaking, but you don't want to show your face, you may choose a platform like Clubhouse, wherein you're just talking. If you're good at making videos and you want to do that, you can choose YouTube. But if you don't want to make very long videos and you have other things to cater for also, like showing your products, showing your this, that, vagera, then you might choose Instagram, if not YouTube. अगर आपको लिखना पसंद है, so you choose LinkedIn. But you have to understand, because LinkedIn has publishing articles, you have to understand that whatever you choose has to be a combination of all three. ये नहीं कि मैं लिख सकता हूँ तो मैं LinkedIn चूज करूंगा, पर एक्चुअली में आपको Instagram पे ज्यादा एफर्ट डालनी चाहिए या YouTube पे ज्यादा डालनी चाहिए. LinkedIn needs to be a priority in the top 3 for everybody, hands down. But does it need to be the number one? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So when you are choosing your social media platform, and only you can do this, you need to figure out, one, your industry or niche, two, where is your target audience sitting, and three, be very real about your communication skills. For all you know, every single thing is pointing you to YouTube or Instagram. And you need to be out there on those two platforms, but you don't have the confidence to be on screen or put yourself out there. Then maybe that's a sign that you need to push yourself a little bit and get out of your comfort zone, because that's where the money will start coming in. Don't be in your comfort zone, right? So think of it like this. This is the only way you can evaluate yourself and choose for yourself. I hope this makes sense. Yeah, great. 1 second, I'm just opening my chat box. Right. Awesome. So now I want you guys to really, really listen to what I'm saying. These are some content ideas that I'm going to be sharing with you. And what about Twitter? What about Twitter, Sunil? Why don't you unmute yourself? Twitter. Okay. So are you talking about who should be choosing Twitter? Is that your question?
Yes.
So, Twitter, the way the platform Twitter is basically like, if you are looking to connect with stakeholders globally and easily, right? Then the idea is of Twitter is an amazing place, because people talk a lot over there. People engage a lot over there. And if you're engaging with the right kind of people in a very decent manner over time, then the celebrities and the senior stakeholders, and the public figures are there, because Twitter is a platform for masses. And hence, because they're active over there, So your chance of actually creating or developing a sort of relationship with them becomes easier. Yes. Also, additionally, I'd say that if you are looking yourself to have a mass influence over people globally, if your aim is to be global or your audience is already global, for example, if you're into freight forwarding, you'd want to kind of be where people overseas are there as well, right? So you have to look, if your audience is to be more global, then I'd say Twitter is a really great place to be. If you want to become a public figure yourself, Twitter is a great place to be. All the major organizations, public figures, are quite active on Twitter for that matter. Yeah, more than any other platform that I've seen. So yes. Also, it's
Thank you.
very easy. Like you can write Greek also, and it works. People are really, it just goes, Twitter. It's like you can just like get away with it. This funny story. If I have some time, I'll share with you another very funny mistake story that happened with me. And I was like, wow. But let's go ahead, and I want to give you some ideas. So please ensure that your notebook is ready. And yeah, there are so many ideas, of course, but I'm just summed up some very easy ones for all of us, which are important also, and which will stay with you. So raw, real, relatable तो याद ही रखना हमेशा, ठीक है? ये आपका law है basically. So the first thing is create relevant content. Okay. Now, right now you see that the COVID is, the wave is coming back. And for all you know, like I'm going to get myself second time tested, and I'm just sitting here with you guys with Omicron and then me, who knows. Okay. But my point is that you need to talk about relevant content. Now, relevant content is what is relevant right now. If you're talking during the festive season about, you know, um, I don't know, Diwali or about, Christmas, you'll see that you'll get more traction because people are in that zone. Right now, people are talking about the rise of cases. Now, I'm telling you that you are not WHO. So please don't go around telling people कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. उससे आपका भला नहीं बुरा ही होगा. What you need to do is leverage on this aspect and give a solution which is in regards to what the relevant thing is. So your expertise plus, say for example, COVID, right? Something related to that. Like me telling you this right now is literally me giving you relevant content. I'm telling you how you can use COVID to with personal branding or social media and make it your benefit. So for that matter, how can you sanitize your packaging during these times? How can you ensure that your packaging is safe, right? I'm just taking Sunil's example because he shared his packaging thing. So, talk about sanitization, talk about keeping safe, talk about all these things, ensuring, and anything related to that. This is something you can do right now for that matter. Also, another thing in January is goal setting. How do you set goals for something? If you have automotive parts, like how do you ensure that your parts are, in fact, the thing is, give people solutions, the solutions that you would get charged for. You will notice that people will be overwhelmed with the value that you give them. They will not be able to do it, and then they'll be like, bhai tu hi kar de. Okay? So think of it like that. So creating relevant content. So goal setting, find solutions over there, right? So creating relevant content, that's great. Next is something that always works is throwback and behind the scenes, right? Throwbacks are, हमारे पास इतनी सारी offline photos हैं, क्या कर रहे हो तुम लोग उसके साथ? मुझे नहीं पता. तो throwback use करो, behind the scene use करो. आप कुछ काम अपना ना company page पे आप इतना अच्छा अपना photo वगैरह लगा रहे हो, उसका थोड़ा सा मतलब take some behind the scene, take some rough footage that's that, put that on your personal account, right? Behind the scene that's there. Bloopers, it's fun if you see anybody goofing up in the middle. If you're doing a talk and you're practicing for a talk and you've goofed up and you have those little clips that are there, there always this, it's a lot of fun to see people do that. So I think bloopers also work a lot, and we get people closer to you. You have to understand people will get closer to you, and you become the differentiating factor. Understand human psychology, understand yourself. Whenever you're confused about how to brand yourself, please don't think too technical. Step out of all of this and say, what would I do? Step out of it. What would I do? What would I like to see in somebody's thing? Simple. If you're creating a Canva per design, which is the next one, if you feel you've done a lot of work, sometimes it gets really tiring, yeah, done a lot of work and you're not sure whether it's right or wrong, just step out of that zone and say, okay, would I click like on this kind of photo, and be very real with you, right? So create micro content. People don't have time anymore. They need to basically get information in like 2 minutes, sorry, 2 seconds, 30 seconds, or whatever. Easily keep your content enough for people to stay onto your post, in the sense that write long captions, right? Write long captions, but create short content. मतलब अपने ग्राफिक्स को में उसमें टिप्स डालना, या रील्स पे वीडियोस जो बनाओगे, इवन दो आपको 1 मिनट का ऑप्शन मिलता है, 30 seconds और लेस में बनाना. So ensure that, because people don't have the attention span, so ensure that you provide information and value. To be clear, reels are not कि वो जो आप गाने देखते हो लोग नाच रहे होते हैं. रील बस एक फीचर है, उस पे लोग ऐसा कंटेंट बनाते हैं. So I make a lot of reels which are related to giving gyan. The next is, of course, time for testimonials. Amazing to build in credibility, for that matter. And then, of course, this making videos and doing lives, which help you get closer to your audience. And when you take their names, it allows you, they feel very special. That's when your follower becomes your customer. And then remember to be raw, real, and relatable. I will, of course, not go without telling you how to expand or increase your follower base as well. That's always an important aspect. So building your community, fans, or network. So it's very important that you engage actively with value on your influencers' posts or your competitors' posts. Value matlab, don't write in the comments great post. Great post का क्या करूं मैं? कुछ अच्छा ढंग का लिखो, sensible लिखो, ensure that you stand out from the rest of the people. You have this opportunity, don't write great post there, man. No. So आपके influencers जो हैं, जो भी industries के हैं, उनके वहाँ पे अच्छा सा कुछ लिखो, ताकि the attention comes to you. That's how you stand out. Next is competitors. Now one will say, competition के साथ तो हम नहीं कुछ करेंगे. भाई competitors जो हैं, वो उनकी जो audience है, वो आपकी audience भी तो है. एक तो you develop a good camaraderie between each other, and this competition becomes healthy. And the other thing is, people who are searching or following their stuff are looking at these topics, which means they might be interested in seeing what you have to say as well. Now, follow relevant influencers and topics. Of course, the second you start following relevant stuff, the algorithm shows you to other people as well. It's a good way to kind of connect with people and have people follow you. Next is content is king, optimize right. Content is king, optimize right का मतलब ये है कि आप अपना ना content base में मतलब when it comes to content, just ensure that you're using the right kind of hashtags. Hashtags, by the way, are keywords of your industry. Then there's a no-brainer over there, right? Just if you're confused, just think of it. Is this a keyword? Yes, hashtag it, right? And best is to put it in the sentence itself. Optimize it right, write the right amount of captions, make it neat for that matter. And then you'll see that your content actually blows up. The next is, of course, distribute your content via cross-platform distribution and via WhatsApp. Now, what I mean by this is, see, you've made a great piece of video. You made an amazing video. Wow, kya video banai hai. पर कोई देख ही नहीं रहा है, किसी को पता ही नहीं है it exists. वाह, सिर्फ आप देख रहे हो और आपने अपने बेटी को दिखाया, बेटे को दिखाया, पत्नी को दिखाया, पति को दिखाया. दैट्स ग्रेट. ओके, वो 4 सब्सक्राइबर तो तब थे जब आपके पास 0 वीडियोस थे. तो मैं ये कह रही हूँ, How do you get more people to know more about you? Is of course by distributing your content. So you get that video, you make it write a nice write up and for your Instagram broadcast list. Do not bombard people every single day, um, and you just share it in your broadcast. That video link, if you want to build your YouTube channel for that matter, that video link that you have, put that on LinkedIn. That video will open up, it'll get more views. So this is क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म, जो एक प्लेटफॉर्म से दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म में प्रमोट करते हो, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हो. Your job is not done till you haven't distributed, by the way, right? The next I always say is go live and focus on engaging social media activities like polls or engaging social media activities. It allows people to engage with you. When you go live, people engage with you, right? So that's something that's really interesting, right? So always, and also यार live में क्या करना होता है, आपको बस डालना होता है एक पोस्टर थोड़े दिन पहले कि हम live जाने वाले हैं, उसके बाद आप बैठ जाओ, गप्पे मारो, मतलब it's all planned. There's a whole technique to it, but you don't have to sit there in a studio and ensure that your hair is like wow and perfect, and you don't have to pay for all of that. No, you just bloody put your phone, put a tripod and start. That's it. And of course, follow me, follow me, follow me. Ask them to follow you. And this is something which was taught to me actually by the YouTube. I was at YouTube, YouTube Creator Academy. And the YouTube team actually said that if you don't ask people to subscribe, it will not come to their head to subscribe to your channel. You need to ask people to subscribe, and which makes complete sense. You've actually put this effort and you've put out good content, but in all of that good vibe, you can't blame the other person to forget that they didn't like your thing, or they didn't comment on your thing, or they didn't share it. Tell them that अगर आपको अच्छा लगा तो मेरे लिए भी कुछ अच्छा कर दो भाई. So so go ahead and give them that call to action. Ask them to follow you. And that's how you'll build your community, fans, and network. That brings me to the end of my session. And you've all been here patiently, but are there any questions that are there?